Alrighty, was cut short a little bit there, but I wanted to actually spend a little bit more time talking about this method, and I knew that really wouldn't fit here. So to recap what we've done so far is we're checking the server time. Every time the server sends an update to update or to synchronize our playlist, we go ahead and we subscribe on that. We check to see if the current is null, we set the isPlaying for the last component to false. If it's not null, then we just exit. Then we get the current component out of our items map. And then we go ahead, or rather the current component out of what's the current item. And then if they don't equal each other, then we clean up the last component. We set the last component to the new component. We set isPlaying to true. We scroll it into view. We scroll that item into view with 2 additional item heights as padding. And then we set progress to the current progress. So now we have to deal with the isPlaying flag in the isPlaying property, as well as the progress property. So let's go ahead and implement those. Let's jump down to playlist item component, and I'm going to say set isPlaying, and he's simply going to say this underscore set class. Remember set class? Set class is dash playing to it is playing. Then I'm going to say set progress, and I'm simply going to say this underscore money progress CSS width is progress percentage. So remember the progress bar that we created a while ago? That's added to the bottom of each playlist item. Well, we'll set the width of him to whatever progress percent that we have. And with that, I think we should be able to see some of this stuff working already, and then we can go ahead and style it. So let's come back here and refresh. And it doesn't look like we're currently playing any items yet. Oh, no, setting current to ELO Mr. Blue Sky. There we go. So we should have, wherever that is, right there, that should be playing. And as you see, class is playing, and check that out. We can actually see the progress as well. Current progress 40%. So the progress is updating, and the isPlaying class is being set. So now let's go ahead and style that. So I'm going to move this off to the side, maybe collapse that a little bit, and then move this off to the side. And then let's go ahead and jump over to our playlist SCSS and start styling it. So how about right here, after we style inner, I'm going to say and is dash playing, and I'm going to create a box shadow of 0, 0, 5px, 2px black. And let's see if that gets applied. And it does. We already have that box shadow there. I don't know with the compression if you guys will be able to see that. It's a very subtle effect. Then I'm going to set the background to darken, background-panel 3%. And that should darken our background, and it does. And then I'm going to set the color to color-highlight. And save that, and the color does indeed highlight. Now I'm going to open up inner, and I'm going to do thumb wrapper image, and I'm going to set his opacity to 1 and his border to 2px solid color information. And hit Control S, and now our thumb wrapper is indeed colored. So now let's do our details time. I'll set his color to darken color-highlight by 10%, so that brightens up the time a little bit. And then I'm going to go ahead and make our progress. So to make our progress, the first thing I'm going to do is create a blank progress bar by styling the after pseudo element of our inner. And I'm going to say z index is going to be 199. His content is just going to be an empty string, or not an empty string, but a space. His display is going to be block. His position is going to be absolute. His left is going to be 5 pixels. His right is going to be 5 pixels. His bottom is going to be 0. And his height is going to be 1 pixel. And his background is going to be darken background 5%. So really, really straightforward. You can barely see it, but I like that really subtle effect there. You could see it more if I took off the isPlaying background. So you can see that little dash right there, that little line for the progress. But now let's go ahead and style the actual progress bar, the actual thing that fills up. That's just kind of the background for the progress bar. So I'm going to say dot progress. Z index is 200. We want it right above our after. Actually, I'm going to roll most of these. I'm going to roll most of these styles into the same one. So I'm going to say comma progress right there. And then I'm going to do the after pseudo element. And I'm only going to take out the things that change. And in this case, it's going to be the z index and the background. And then the progress is going to have a background of color information. So hit Control S. And we should now have a progress bar, I think. I hope. Let's see here. Where are you, Mr. Progress Bar? So if we go ahead and open up is playing, we have inner, we have progress. Oh, I think I set the progress display to none. Nope, but I reset it to block. So he should be there. Let's check his z-index. His z-index is not set. Oh, well, that would be why then. Set his z-index and check that out. We now have a progress bar. And we can make this a little bit more interesting by setting our progress bar to have a transition of width. How about 100 milliseconds? So now the progress bar, when it every 5 seconds, there's a nice little animation that'll fill up the rest of that. But yeah. So now we know what item's playing and how far along it is. And I think that's pretty awesome. With that, I think the next thing that we're going to be doing is building our context menu. So I can force one of these items to play, or I can remove that item entirely. So we'll see you guys then.